Choking on pollution and getting stuck in traffic is one thing the rich of this city never experience flying high above the skyscrapers. Brazil, Sao Paulo has the most helicopters in the world and has been dubbed Helicopter City. How did this happen and what is it like? Let's jump in. Nick here from Found and Explained. If you like this video today, hit that button below to subscribe and become one of the 2% attractive viewers who subscribed. Brazil is one of the most exciting markets in the world for all things aviation. It has the highest number of private turboprop aircraft in the world, following just behind the US's highest private jet aircraft. They also have the highest number of helicopter concentrations across their cities. In the city of Sao Paulo alone, considered Brazil's financial center, there are 400 registered helicopters, with 700 in the state, flying over 700 trips per day, according to a study taken back in 2013. This places Sao Paulo ahead of cities like New York and Tokyo. With 12 million citizens in the urban area, there is one helicopter per 17,000 people. So the question is, why does Brazil have so many helicopters, and who is taking these 2,000 flights across the state per day? For one, it's the new class of mega wealthy magnates that live in these cities and have to traverse the continental country quickly. These rich inhabitants of the city live in luxury condo towers with helipads on top, allowing them to fly to other towers with offices, restaurants and bars with ever having to go down to the ground. In fact, it was reported that back in 2010 that 129 of the current 215 helipads in the city were unregistered and not monitored by authorities. Truly a playground for the rich. But it's not just fat wallets that has spurred the perfect storm for helicopter travel. Sao Paulo was known worldwide for its chaotic traffic, and in 2014 set a new record for a traffic jam stretching more than 344 kilometers during rush hour. With 6 million cars on the road in the city, there is simply no more room down below. Essentially, Brazil's infrastructure failure to keep pace with its economic development has led to these mega wealthy considering other ways of getting around, one that is not hampered by traffic. And helicopter travel is not just reserved for VIP transport, but everything from tourism to package delivery. One delivery company laments that in a helicopter, it takes about 12 minutes. In a car, it depends on traffic but can take up to 2 hours. The intermediate bottlenecks originally made the helicopter a virtual essential vehicle for top executives and the well-to-do in Brazil, especially in Sao Paulo, one of the cities with the largest number of millionaires in Latin America. And they pay top dollar too, treating these aircraft just as much as they would a sports car or a sedan. For example, one helicopter dealership in Rio, that's right, they have dealership like car dealerships, features a flagship aircraft, the Italian Augusta, which runs for roughly $6 million. A Versace interior is optional for an additional $2 million, a price that the rich people are glad to pay. Even politicians are getting on the trend despite the backlash. Back in 2013, Rio de Janeiro State Governor Sergio Cabral was exposed for flying a helicopter only 6 miles from his house to office every day, a flight over 3 minutes long, costing the Brazilian taxpayer $1.7 million per year. Cabral also used his helicopter to ferry his nanny, dog and family on shopping trips and vacations around his city. And when confronted by reporters, he said, "I'm not the first to do it. Others in Brazil do it too. And it's okay because of the job I have. I'm not doing anything new. I am transported with my family. I get out of work and go to my country home." According to Flight Global, the helicopter market in Brazil has been growing 12% per year, thanks to demand for VIP transport in Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, as well as a booming offshore oil sector. But you're probably wondering, how does the city manage all of this helicopter traffic? It's actually the only city in the world with its own air traffic control system just for helicopter aircraft. Technically, dedicated rotorcraft air traffic control towers do exist in Aberdeen in the UK and Stavanger, Norway for offshore oil rigs, but Sao Paulo is the first dedicated urban service. Everyday control operators guide hundreds of flights between rooftop helipads and the airports through Sao Paulo's 13 dedicated helicopter air traffic corridors, including the City Elite private helipad that houses private helicopters for up to $50,000 a month. The tower controls all air traffic in the city, sans airport, of an altitude between 2,000 and 3,500 feet. Anything over 3,500 feet, the helicopters are transferred to the main airport air traffic control. But we should touch base on the realities of living in the helicopter city when you're not the person taking these helicopters. Some neighborhoods have over 50 helicopters flying overhead per day, or roughly one flying past their window every 10 minutes, drowning out conversation and interrupting daily life. Some helicopters even take off to not even fly anywhere, hovering over the city like a bird of prey looking for opportunities for televised events or tracking criminal enterprise in the form of police choppers. Some of these helicopters will spend collective hours between fuel runs over the city's denser parts, adding to the urban landscape background noise. Some politicians have stepped in to try and curb these helicopter activities. City Councilman Cinco Messina proposed a law in 2007 that would have prohibited the departure and arrival of helicopters between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m., plus requiring all helicopters to keep a minimal distance of 500 meters from all public buildings that are sensitive to noise, such as hospitals, schools, and universities. When the bill hit the mayor's office in 2010, Gilbo Kassab, who himself flew up to 19 hours per month via helicopter, drastically edited the bill. He limited the flight of helicopters to only between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m., limited the hovering to a maximum of 30 minutes per neighborhood, and changed the limit of distance to sensitive structures to only 300 meters. Plus, the fines for these violations, a maximum of $5,000. Something you can imagine is pocket change for those buying Versace helicopters. And what did all the helicopter firms say in rebuttal to these complaints from citizens? If you want to hear the birds, then leave the city. The last few years of world events have greatly affected the helicopter city, with the boom coming to an end. The economic and political crisis plummeting Brazil has greatly reduced helicopter operations and led to low-cost flights on demand through app technology. Back in 2016, residents and tourists in Sao Paulo had the opportunity to order a helicopter through an app such as Voom. A client can order a helicopter through the app or directly online up to 45 minutes before the desired flight time at prices somewhere 80% less than traditional air taxi services. Compare that with the market rates before Voom became available, individual helicopter companies wanted 10 times more, and trips needed to be booked at least 2 days in advance. Our goal is to make helicopter transport accessible to more people so that the helicopter is seen as an alternative, said Voom executive director when the company launched. A 5-minute trip from a hotel in downtown to Congas Airport can cost anywhere between 160 to 400 reals, which is $65 to $129, depending on how much discount you get. This is compared to the original price of around about 3,700 reals, about $1,190, which was charged by a more traditional air taxi service. We want to broaden our user base. Executives are still our main clients, but with the prices we offer, we are opening the category to many more customers, and that's what we aim to do. To book, the app asks passengers to enter their weight and that of any baggage and immediately sends the calculated fare. Just like Uber today, the app would calculate demand and the prices could surge if there was more demand on the ground, especially on weekends or public holidays. Alas, Vroom and its competitive apps were victims to the current crisis plaguing us all and shut down in April this year. At its peak, the app was managing 150,000 total active users and flew 15,000 passengers. The Silicon Valley team had aspirations to launch the app to other cities beyond 3, Sao Paulo, Mexico City, and San Francisco, but never entered much more of North America. Today, Brazil's helicopter city has cemented itself as a place where aviation is not only a fix to traffic problems, but an evolution to the way we travel. Airbus and other companies like Uber have looked at the landscape and lessons learned and have used it as the basis of the future of air transport. For Sao Paulo and other cities becoming like it, it is not a matter if helicopters will be the preferred form of transport, but simply when. If you enjoyed this video today, then let me know down below with a comment and a like. And if you want to hang around for my next video, then consider clicking that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.